All right, we are halfway through our biogeochemicals cycles tour. All right, next up, we're talking about the phosphorus cycle, Stilteke 4C, diagram abiotic cycles, and we're talking about the phosphorus cycle. Okay, and I know y'all are tired of hearing this, but little refresher: abiotic, non-living, water, air, rocks, soil. Biotic are living organisms, animals, plants, anything else that's alive. Okay, and this is also kind of a refresher: nutrient cycling. The matter is cycling through the environment. It can be transformed, but cannot be created or destroyed. And nutrients that we require for life processes circulate through the environment in biogeochemical cycles. So make sure you have these red, bold, and underlined words filled in on your notes handout. All right, so here is an overview of the phosphorus cycle. There's a simpler one that we're going to look at in greater detail. Just want to kind of show you an overview real quick. So with the phosphorus cycle, it's actually pretty interesting. It's going to involve mainly our lithosphere and our oceans. Okay, we need phosphorus. It's a key component of cell membranes, including our DNA and our RNA. It's essential to life, but there's way more available in rocks, soil, sediment, and the oceans. It's released naturally when rocks are worn down by wind or by weather. Okay, so that's kind of where this part of the cycle it's showing you weathering and erosion. Okay, most phosphorus is found in rock. It's going to be it's a low amount that's available to us at any given time. So because there's a little phosphorus available to us, whenever there is an excess amount that is added to an environment, plant and algae can actually, that growth will increase because if there's an excess amount available. Okay, so plants only take up phosphorus here whenever it's dissolved in water. Okay, and then consumers, either we get it from water we drink, organisms we eat, and then the waste will return to the soil through decomposers. Okay, that's kind of our generalized cycle here. All right, so this is where y'all are going to fill in your notes. So most phosphorus is stored in rocks. Okay, so we're going to start here with our roots. It says plants take up dissolved phosphorus from the soil through their roots. Okay. Runoff water is going to carry phosphorus from the soil into nearby bodies of water. I also know that roots is in yellow. That's because red doesn't really go with that brown background. So roots is still going to be something that you're going to fill in, even though it's yellow instead of red. Okay. And then we have animals. They're drinking water, are obtaining phosphorus. They're eating plants, and they're getting that source of phosphorus. Okay. Decomposers are breaking down dead organisms, their waste, and returning that phosphorus to the soil. Okay. So some human impacts. All right. So eutrophication is when there's excess producers in a body of water due to adding phosphorus or nitrogen, which is going to decrease the water's oxygen content, because if we are adding phosphorus to water, there's microscopic plants in bodies of water called phytoplankton. We also have algae, and so they're taking in those extra nutrients, creating more. They also are using oxygen, and it's going to decrease the oxygen content in the body of water because they're using it for their process. Okay. Fertilizers and detergents like laundry detergent contain phosphorus, so it can be picked up by runoff. Remember that runoff water? So anytime you add fertilizer to lawns or to plants to help them grow, so if that fertilizer isn't being taken in by those plants, if it's like if it rains, that fertilizer washes off. It can run into what we call our local watershed. And we're going to talk about watersheds later on, but a watershed is essentially um, all of the all of the bodies of water in a certain area are going to run off into a certain point. So we actually have a watershed here in Pasadena. We're part of the Galveston Bay watershed. So any water that washes off or runs off is going to end up in the bay, which is really close to the Gulf of Mexico or the ocean just south of us. All right, and then mining breaks up rocks and minerals, so it's easy to dissolve and run off and enter bodies of water that way as well. Okay, because if phosphorus is found in rocks, if they're mining, it's going to dissolve and it can enter bodies of water that way also. Okay, so make sure you have your notes all filled in before you submit them in Schoology.